Hi, this is Mike. We're going to go through the Tailgaters Panama trip of March 2022 using Holland American Line's Eurodam. The Eurodam is 936 feet long and 106 feet wide. It can carry 2,100 guests and about 600 plus staff. There were only 930 on this trip. We use veranda staterooms. Here's the bed, the bathroom, and the seating area. Here's the hallways that lead up to the verandas. Let's get ready and let's go everywhere. We left Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday, March 9th, and as soon as we hit open water, we were turning 2 screws. But before we got too far away from land, we were able to catch the sunset and the Miami skyline together, which were gorgeous. Thursday, March 10th, we were at sea off the coast of Cuba. Woke up to a great sunset, and some of us went up to the crow's nest, enjoyed drinks and coffee in the morning. Some enjoyed their breakfast in bed. We also were able to have drinks on the veranda. Great dinner in the dining room, along with chocolate souffle, which was outstanding. And of course, a great sunset to end the day and the moon rising. Friday, March 11th was at sea, and we were passing between the Atlantic and the Caribbean Sea, and it was quite rough. As you'll see here, we were watching the birds fly along with the boat, along catching fish and the flying fish flying out from underneath the boat. We also explored the boat and all the great rooms that it had and lounges that are available to spend time in. The dinner that evening was great, lots of wonderful food and desserts. We had chocolate souffle, which was, again, out of this world. Also in the B.B. King Lounge, there was a steel band, and you'll hear a little excerpt here. Saturday, March 12th, we were docked in Aruba. It was the first time for us to be able to get off the boat, kind of spread our wings a little bit, and enjoy some of the wildlife that was close by. There were blue iguanas, green ones, brown ones. There were lots of iguanas pretty close to the boat and the shoreline that were all within walking distance of the boat. Also within walking distance was some shopping and quite colorful buildings with restaurants and opportunities to kind of see what Aruba is like. There was also a tribute to Anne Franks that was in the area, and the inscription on the monument says, "How wonderful it is that nobody needs to wait a single moment to improve the world." That evening, we were able to go on a sunset cruise, and we were not shut out. We were able to see the sunset into the water wonderfully. Enjoyed some rum. Everybody got to go and enjoy everybody's company. It was a good time. Lots of pictures were taken. We enjoyed the catamaran. We enjoyed being on the water. It was quite gentle. It was not rough at all. A good time. Sunday, March 13th, we docked at Curacao in the morning, and we were able to get off the boat and enjoy the sights here. We were able to experience the blue liqueur, Curacao, see the colorful buildings that were in the downtown close area to where the boat was parked, and you were able to walk there. We were able to go to see the agave farms, and some people went to Mambo Beach and enjoyed the sand and the sun and the drinks, and basically just had a good time. That evening, part of the crew took a sunset cruise in the bay. enjoyed themselves with lots of good drink and lots of good time and a great sunset. Monday, March 14th, we were at sea off the coast of South America. Another great day just to relax and be on the boat, enjoy all the amenities that the boat has to offer, the spas, the pools, all the great food. And to get room service if you want and just relax for the day and enjoy not having anything to do or scheduled. Tuesday, March 15th, we sailed into Cartagena, Colombia in the morning, and we were greeted by the Madonna in the Bay. The Madonna in the Bay was struck by lightning and broke into pieces. Looks no worse for the wear right now. You can read about it on the internet. Cartagena is a European city with very narrow streets, big town squares, old fortresses that you can walk around and see. There's plenty of street vendors to selling their wares, trinkets, lots of fruit, and those kind of things. The city also has lots of local art that's on display, and as you walk around the city you can see quite a bit of it. One in particular is a sculpture where if you rub it you end up with good luck. We were also able to go to an aviary and see the flamingos and the parrots. And as we sailed out that evening, we were able to go by Fort Lauderdale, and we were also greeted by a great sunset. Wednesday, March 16th, we arrived at the Panama Canal early in the morning. You can see by this the lights are still on the Atlantic Bridge and the beacons are still blinking in the water. There was a little bit of overcast and a little bit of rain coming and going. The Ruby Princess is the cruise ship that's in front of us. This architecture that serves this bridge is pretty massive and impressive as we'll follow underneath it. They served on the deck as we approached these Panama rolls that had cheese on them. And as you approach the Panama Canal, you'll see on the right the remains of the French Panama Canal, and this canal was never finished. As a boat approaches the Panama Canal, it's tethered to these mules that keep the boat centered in the canal as it moves through. The boat is underneath its own power, so it uses its prop as it moves through. The canal also provides pilots for the boat to move it through the canal along with the pilot that's already on the boat. In the next segment, what you're going to see here is us get closer to the gate, and then as soon as the water level equals on both sides, the gates will open and we'll go in to the canal itself, and you can see the gates opening here. The whole process takes about 45 plus minutes to get the boat maneuvered into the canal and move it from segment to segment. There's approximately 3 gates on each side of the Pacific side and the Atlantic side. The clearance on both sides of the boat is roughly 4 feet, and the job of the mules is to keep the boat centered. The mules are third generation and about $2 million each. And you can see the pulleys on the side. Their main job is to keep the boat centered and to pull it right or left depending upon what it needs to keep it in to the center. Again, these run the length of the canal, and they're quite heavy and quite large. The next segment you're going to see is where we transferred to the Pacific side of the canal, and we were in a smaller boat, and we were in front of this larger boat here, and you'll see it move up to us. This boat's somewhere between 700 and 750 feet long, and it'll move up close to us. As soon as it gets close to us, the gate will close in the back, and in the next segment you'll start to see the water be drained out of the canal. There's approximately 26 million gallons of water in each one of these canals, and it takes, again, roughly 30 plus minutes, 45 minutes for the water to drain out so that you can level with the next side and move out. On the left here, you'll see the measurements of how they measure the boats. Here's 180 feet to the front and 800 feet to the end, and you can see where that other boat starts right there. The canals themselves are roughly 75 feet deep, and the boats as they move through here are raised and leveled depending upon which direction they're going. If they're going down to the Pacific, then the water drains out. If they're going up to the Atlantic on this side, they go up. The gates open, and the gates run approximately 80 foot tall and 60 foot wide. They're hollow in steel, and they're driven on hydraulics. The next picture you're going to see is the depth of the canal, and you'll see that measured on the side and the length. We're entering the last lock here to the Pacific Ocean, and you can see our boat is about 1,100 feet. It takes about 10 minutes to get it all snuggled up and up to the front here and tied off. As we exit this lock, we'll be exiting into the Pacific Ocean, and you'll see the Bridge of the Americas and the cruise ship, the Ruby Princess, who went in front of us, right directly in front of us. The next skyline you'll see is Panama City, and out of Panama we took a transfer back to the boat. Thursday, March 17th, we went to Puerto, Limon, Costa Rica. We went to the rainforest here, and we got to be able to see some sloths, some red frogs, green frogs, all kinds of frogs. We also took a tram from the top of the mountain all the way to the bottom, which is about a 1,000-foot drop. And what you'll see here is it takes about roughly 10 minutes to get to the top to the bottom, and we've sped it up to where it takes less than a minute for you to get through the rainforest here. And some of these parts are pretty steep as the tram moves down the mountainside, and this is carved in between all of the huge trees and all of the vegetation that you see. And it's roughly 500 meters from the top to the bottom, and this tram itself is pretty secure and pretty smooth. As you can tell by the video, it's not jerking around or anything else. And then when you get to the bottom here, we stop. We'll take a nice little walk around down here and see some things. There's a waterfall down here, and then we start back up the mountain. And again, it's about a 10-minute ride. And on the way up, we're going to stop a couple of times, and you can see it when it happens. It'll the video will kind of quit progressing for just a minute, and then it'll start up like right there. We go all the way back up to the top of the mountain and get off, and it's quite a view at the top where you start. You can see all the way to the Caribbean Ocean, Caribbean Sea. You can see it out right there as in between the vegetation as you're going up. The tram itself, again, is very smooth, very secure, and very easy to get on and off of. At the top of the mountain was a research station that had a butterfly house. Here you'll see some of the butterflies we saw in the house. They were quite pretty. There was a whole bunch of them. There were thousands of butterflies. I slowed these down so you could see these blue ones, and they're brown on one side and blue on the other. Quite beautiful. And there were thousands of them. Next segment, you're going to see some orange and brown ones that were in the house, and again, I've slowed it down so you can be able to see them because they were flying around pretty fast. In the next segment, you're going to see some of those blue ones feeding on some plantains, and they're not going to be blue, they're going to be brown, because that's what they are on one side, and then when you see him flap his wings, you'll see the blue side of it. And as the camera turns, you're going to see three other butterflies. There'll be 4 on the plantains as it turns. The butterfly house was definitely one of the highlights of the trip, and definitely a highlight of the day. Everybody enjoyed the butterfly house, and as we boarded the buses and headed back to the cruise ship to the Caribbean Ocean there, and got on the boat and went home. The only problem is we ran into some peacocks. Friday, March 18th, we were at sea between Port Limon and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the Caribbean Ocean. We did lots of eating at the Lido, shared good times with everybody, rested on the decks, played at the pool, enjoyed our verandas and the view. And that evening we had a gala night. We all dressed up, and lots of drinks, lots of great food, lots of great desserts, and everybody looked outstanding this evening as we were all dressed up, and here's the whole crew. This was next to the last evening on the boat. Saturday, March 19th, we were at sea headed to Fort Lauderdale, and we were enjoying all the amenities that the boat had to offer, all of the great drinks that they were serving, the pools, the bars, the spas. Had a great day at sea. This was our last full day on the boat, and we all enjoyed it. One of the great things that we always enjoyed was the pre-happy hour around the pool, enjoying a gluten-free pizza, and enjoying our time and company with others. I want to say that this trip, the weather on this trip was fabulous. The seas were not too bad, and the company was great. Had a great time on this cruise and would recommend it again. This was our last full day on the boat, and in the evening we said our goodbye to the staff that helped us at dinner and the other staff that helped us at the bars. We also paid a visit to the casino the last time and had a great time. Sunday, March 20th, we pulled into Port Everglades, Fort Lauderdale in the morning, and we disembarked by late morning. Everybody was plump and happy, and we want to thank the Holland American Eurodam staff for all of the great service that they gave us while on this cruise. I want to finish this off with a couple of more personal pictures of everyone, and just to say thank you. What great cruising partners you were, and what a great time we had overall. And we'll end up with this little tune from the Port Limon Band.
Have a nice trip back to home, a good trip back to home, pretty trip back to home. We appreciate your visit. Have a nice trip back to home, a good trip back to home, pretty trip back to home. Goodbye, 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 everybody, goodbye.